By far the greatest and most common mistake car buyers make: visiting the dealership way too soon. But here's a simple process to keep your emotions in check. Who doesn't like walking into a dealership and made to feel fancy? You get given a coffee as soon as you walk in, you see all these shiny new vehicles, there's this beautiful smell of new leather. It's so easy to get engulfed in all this excitement, but there's a time and place for that. Much like you never step foot in a supermarket when your tummy's rumbling, you should never step foot into a dealership until you've done at least 80% of your research. It was unbelievable how many times I had customers that ultimately bought vehicles that were too small for their family requirements, but because their emotions were so potent and overwhelming that the voice of reason was thrown out the window. Emotions are important, there's no disputing that, but you need to keep them in check. There's a very simple process that you can follow in order for you to be able to pick the right vehicle that makes the most financial sense. If you only take one piece of advice from this process, it's rule number 1. 80% of your research needs to be done from home first. I'll repeat that. 80% of your research needs to be done first before going to see any dealerships or test driving any vehicles. Step 2. This is where you figure out what you can actually afford. Now, there are plenty of videos out there that can help you with this, and as part of my services, I can as well. But look into the 20-4-10 rule, which you'll probably find quite useful. Once you've figured out what that dollar figure looks like per month, you can use online calculators to see what that value looks like as a total MSRP for a vehicle, and then I'd probably take 10% off that MSRP just to be on the safe side. Step 3 is really quite straightforward. Let's say your monthly payment has come to about $600 a month. Now you need to come up with a list of top 5 features that the vehicle needs to have that are of most importance to you. Could be things like all-wheel drive, heated steering wheel, heated front seats, wireless Apple CarPlay, things of that nature. Step 4 is an extension of step 3 when you're going to come up with a list of 5 more features, but they're not going to make or break a deal. Could be things like adaptive cruise control, heated rear seats, or towing capacity. Step 5 is where the fun begins now, because you get to look for vehicles, but again, online. Now, online inventory won't necessarily be the most up-to-date, but we'll get to that later. Now come up with a list of 5 vehicles that tick the box for MSRP, which you've already figured out, and have at least 3 of those key 5 important features. You now have compiled a list of vehicles objectively. So now with step 6, you reach out to salespeople, confirm online inventory, get quotes, and confirm any virtual trade appraisals. This is also the time that you should be asking for quotes and pricing if you're considering any extras like an extended warranty. The good news is you now have all the relevant information, and you can actually start making appointments to go and touch and smell and look and test drive these vehicles you're considering. Pro tip: contrary to what a lot of people say, you can actually be upfront with salespeople to a certain degree. You have to give them a price range in order for the salesperson to be effective, but never show what your cap really is, and certainly don't ever give a monthly amount, as that allows the numbers to be manipulated too much. It's also a good idea to give a realistic timeline, as that salesperson may know of other potential upcoming trades or other incoming vehicles that haven't been advertised yet. So long as the salesperson you're dealing with isn't dodgy and they actually give a damn, believe it or not, they can actually really help. In step 7, you'll probably find that that list of 5 contenders quickly gets whittled down to 2 or 3 as one-off used vehicles get sold, and other vehicles that when you actually test drive and see in person kind of let you down. At this point in the process, raw emotions are taking over, and that's absolutely 100% okay, as you've set yourself up for success. In the unfortunate event that your list of 5 contenders turns out to be complete shite, or those that are remaining just simply don't generate enough excitement for you, not a problem. Go back to step 5 and come up with another list. And that's the process. Really quite simple, but very effective at keeping your emotions in check and protecting yourself from making the wrong financial decision. I could have made this video far more detailed, but that would have meant it would have been longer than it already is, and I wanted to keep this message very simple. Protect yourself by making all vital decisions objectively, and that means doing 80% of your research from home, and then allow all those excited emotions to take over when it comes time to picking your next vehicle.